boxes or bars.
Dad, can you take my phone and get a picture?
If y'all look at her, you'll see how skinny she is. She's really emaciated, and she's probably going to die. You see the side of her head?
So here we are for the vlog for, I think it's March 29th. I think it's March 29th. I forgot my little cell phone, so I'm not sure what date it is today. So we're doing this in the morning. So yesterday we went off to Okefenofee Swamp, and so today I'm going to be talking about it. And I'm starting to think that I'll start doing these vlogs in the morning, talking about what happened the previous day for a couple of reasons. One, now that we've been doing this traveling for so long, I really am getting tired at the end of the day. When we first started out, I was all bouncy and excited, and 7 o'clock at night I was gung-ho and ready to get out there and vlog. But now that we are going into our third week, we finished 2 weeks, frankly at the end of the day I'm pretty tired, so I'm just not feeling doing the vlogs at night. The other thing is that with the lighting conditions, so some of you guys have complained about the lighting conditions, is if I tape these videos in the morning, I really don't have to worry about the lighting conditions. It may be a cloudy day, it may be a rainy day, it might be a sunny day. It doesn't really matter, we'll still have good lighting. And that's one of the problems we run into with doing the videos at night, is I'll start off with good lighting, and then it'll get darker and darker and darker and darker and darker until you can't see me anymore, and then it's not much of a vlog, it's more of just an audio program with a black screen. And the final reason I think I'm going to start doing these in the morning is it gives me a little time to digest what I saw the day before. So as we start to go out and do more of the adventure, we start to head to the west where we can start to do cooler things. It just takes a little bit of time for your head to get around what you saw. Like, you see this thing, you see this amazing, wonderful thing, and then the brain kind of goes, so it takes a while for the brain to come back and figure out what is going on. So I think we're going to start doing these in the mornings. I think that is the plan. So right now, again, I think this is the vlog for the 29th. It's actually the morning of the 30th. We're about to leave Flamingo Lake RV Resort, which is an absolutely wonderful little RV resort down here, and head off to the Ho Hum RV park down on the Gulf Coast. So we are finally breaking into new territory as of today. So up until this point, my wife and I have more or less seen a lot of the things that we've gone through. We've already seen Colonial Williamsburg, we've already been to south of the border, we've already been to Charleston, and even down here in Jacksonville, we've already been down to St. Augustine. We've been through this area, even if not this specific area. So what's cool now is as we start to now head west, we're going into territory neither of us have ever been. So for whatever reason, I've just never gotten to the Gulf Coast. Yeah, well, no, Florida, I guess I did Tampa. But the upper top of the Gulf Coast, I just simply have never gone to. So we're gonna go hit the Gulf Coast today, and then keep trucking over, and then hit New Orleans, and then go into Texas, and then get into the Wild West. So I'm excited because today we start venturing into new territory. But yesterday, the 29th, oh my golly, Okefenokee Swamp. Okefenokee Swamp is a place you have to go. You have to go, but I will warn you, you have to go in decent weather. And so you don't want to go when it's too cold, and you don't want to go when it's too hot. So we went there yesterday. I wasn't really sure what to make of Okefenokee Swamp because it's a huge wilderness area, national wilderness area, absolutely massive wilderness area. But the issue is I'm used to most parks, you have a lot of trails that you can hike through and walk through. And the problem is with the swamp, it's a swamp, so it's all water. So all the trails they have are these canoeing trails. So when we were trying to figure out what to do, I saw the canoeing trails and I thought, I don't know if it's really worth the time and energy, and that's one of the reasons we came down here to Jacksonville. Well, going there yesterday, I do have to say it is definitely worth the time and energy to go, and I wish we had more time to spend there when it was a nice day. So yesterday was a beautiful, glorious day. It was 65 degrees, it was bright and sunny, it was a wonderful day to be in a swamp. But the issue is, if we had gone previously, if we had gone during the last week, it's been rainy, it's been cold, all this other stuff has been going on, so I'm not sure if being in a swamp when it's cold and rainy would have been nice. So it's one of those where now that I look at my planning, I wish we could go to Okefenokee when it's nice. I'm not sure it was a bad idea to miss it in the weather that we were here through, if that makes any sense. But anyways, when you go to Okefenokee is massive, so it basically spans the Georgia-Florida border. It's just huge. It's massive wilderness area, and in the wilderness area they have real alligators, like and they're just sitting there. There's alligators are around like deer are in a normal park. You're like, ooh, look, alligator. Oh, really? There's an alligator over there. Oh, you didn't see that alligator? Man, I saw 50 alligators back there. Alligators are all over the place. You drive down the road and you see alligators, and they're just doing their thing. They're just like, yeah, I'm an alligator. So you go there, you see alligators, you see snake, of course, you see big old turtles, and it's just a really, really beautiful area. And what's really cool about it, you don't think... It doesn't really hit you, it didn't really hit me until I was there, is that since it's all a swamp, there are no real roads. So there are roads that go around the wilderness area, right, obviously. But those roads basically don't go anywhere. Like they're country highways. I mean, they get a little bit of traffic, but not a lot of traffic. So the thing is once you get into the Okefenokee Swamp, there are no real roads in there. And why that's cool is because when you're in there, you don't hear any cars. So right now, obviously you hear cars in the background. And so normally, no matter where you go, even when you go to national parks, you still hear cars and traffic and stuff in the background. Well, what's cool with the Okefenokee Swamp, since it's a swamp, there's no roads, so you really don't hear any traffic. Once you get out into the swamp area, it is simply quiet wilderness. You've got alligators, you've got some birds, you got some turtles running around, but that is it. You are truly just in nature, which is really cool, because again, in the modern world, even when you go to a lot of these huge national parks, there's enough roads going through that you just hear the traffic. With this, you go in and all you have is swamp. So when you go there, so yesterday there was a little bit of hiking trail, and that's the thing. Just so you guys know, when I say there's a little bit of hiking trail there's a little bit of hiking trail. So if you're going to go to the Okefenokee, there's two entrances. There's the east entrance, that's where we went to yesterday, and there's the west entrance that we'll probably go to next year. So the west entrance has the camping ground in it. It has a little place for RVs. It has some hiking, like a little bit of hiking. The east entrance doesn't have camping or any of that, and has almost no hiking. I mean, it's not hiking, it's a little bit of walking. The trails there are all like 3/4 of a mile long, so you walk out a 3/4 mile trail, you walk back a 3/4 mile trail, you walk out another 3/4 mile trail, come back. If you're going to go to the Okefenokee on the east side, don't expect to get a lot of exercise. There is one trail that runs about 4 miles in one direction, but it kind of follows the road in. I don't like trails that follow the road in, but that's the only hiking trail with any length to it. So there's that one trail. But what's cool is you go in there and you can go. They have all the canoe trails. So you can go, and we took a tour because we weren't sure what the hell was going on. So we took a tour. So you can do a 90-minute tour in one of the boats, and they take you out. Or you can rent a canoe, or you can rent a kayak, or you can rent a motorboat. And apparently, the main canal that goes through there is something like 20 miles long. So when they say you can go out and really explore the Okefenokee Swamp, you really can. And we're talking about canoe trails, and we're talking about basically they're water trails. So there are these trails that just cut through the swamp, and so you can go out there and you can paddle, and you can go forever and ever and ever and ever. There's islands out there that you can get on, so you can actually get onto some dry land. And then for camping purposes, I didn't see any of these yesterday, but they sound really cool, is apparently they have these floating platforms. So what you can do is you paddle up to the floating platform, you get out, you tie off your boat, and you can set up your tent and all that on the platform itself, in the water, with all the stuff going on around you in just the middle of wilderness. So that is cool, and it is a cool place. It is a really cool place. I wish we had more time this year. I do want to get more out west. We've already booked the reservation for the RV park tonight, but next year when we start swinging around, I want to go over to the west side, because I think it's really cool. It really, really, really is cool. The main thing that I would say is if you're going to go to the Okefenokee, though, is that make sure you get the weather right. So it seems like a spring or a fall thing. I wouldn't do it in the winter, because in that part of Georgia, it can still get very cold. The guide was talking about walking out there when everything is frozen over. So it gets cold enough that the swamp will freeze a foot deep. So I don't want to be out in a swamp. The ice. It's just me. there's adventure and then there's misery, you know what I'm saying? So I don't want to be out there when it's that cold. And then also in the summer, apparently it gets unbearably hot, something like 110 degrees, just brutally hot out there in the swamp. So I wouldn't want to go in winter or summer. I think if you're going to go to the Okefenokee, it's definitely one of those spring or fall type things. But it was amazing. It was beautiful. I really definitely want to go back, especially go out, camp on a little platform in the night. Really cool. Now, as far as the alligators go, again, there are a zillion and a half alligators out there. Again, this is not one of those things where the tour guide takes you out and they go, oh yeah, alligators, alligator. Yeah, man, I remember 3 months ago, we saw an alligator over there. No. This is not how it is. You go out there, and there are alligators. There's an alligator there, and there's an alligator there, and there's an alligator there. And ooh, look, there's a whole family of alligators right there. Like, alligators are right there. They say, basically, with the alligators, is you don't screw with the alligators, and the alligators don't screw with you. Apparently, the guide says they have not had any problems with the alligators in the entire time that he has been there, that the alligators basically don't mess with humans. And so the deal is you don't screw with them. You don't feed the wildlife. I guess that's one of the problems with alligators is people sometimes feed them. And then, of course, just like with all other wildlife, they then go, hey, look, this is a food dispenser. And then you get into problems. But it's more where they want you to give them food versus that they eat you. Now, one of the ways, and I know some of you guys may be thinking, like, well, Eli, is it really true that alligators don't screw with people? That doesn't make any sense. Well, thing is, as I say, the Americans are very efficient when it comes to certain things. And so apparently the policy of the Park Service is if an alligator does attack a human being, so if somebody was out there and the leg got chomped off or whatever, essentially the Park Service would go out and shoot every single alligator they could find within a certain radius. So there's this idea with wild animals is you never want them to get the taste of a human being. So that's the thing is, so they're not, they don't know that we are food. They know snakes are food, and they know birds are food, and they know other things are food. When they see us, they've never had a taste for us, so they don't really know how we taste, and so they don't really know if they want to eat us. Kind of think about like berries, right? If you walk through the forest and you see a bunch of berries, but you've never eaten the berries, they may be very healthy for you, but you've never had them, so you don't really know if you want to eat them. It's kind of how alligators look at us. They're like, yeah, that looks interesting. Might be tasty. Might also be poisonous. I don't know. So how the Park Service deals with alligators not getting a taste for humans is apparently if any alligator does attack a human being, they just go out and they just slaughter every single damn alligator within a certain radius, and therefore there's no surviving alligators with taste for human beings. Welcome to the American system of efficiency, right? It is an efficient way of dealing with it. So yeah, so that's what they say, and they've got enough visitors going out there every year that sounds pretty good. So apparently the alligators don't mess with the alligators, and the alligators won't mess with you, but it is a beautiful place. You're seeing pictures, you've been seeing pictures of it, and Okefenokee is absolutely an awesome place to go. If you have the ability to go down to Okefenokee, go. So we're on the Beltway of Jacksonville right now, at this Flamingo Lake RV park, and from here it was an hour to the Okefenokee East entrance. So that's not too bad. There is an RV park campground literally right outside, literally across the street from the east entrance of the Okefenofee Swamp. But they have some really weird rules, and that's one of the reasons we didn't stay there, is it's a type of thing where they don't accept reservations on Mondays. They're not open on Sundays. They've got this weird list of rules. So if you want to stay closer to the Okefenofee Swamp, there is this camping RV park, something or other, literally right across the street from the east entrance. But you have to go. I'll put the link in the down below. You'll have to go look at their webpage and see how you feel about going there, because it's one of those weird things. Kind of one of those weird, like as Eli the computer guy, I look at what their webpage and I kind of scratch my head and say, are you actually running a business? Is this a business for you, or is this kind of a weird hobby? Because I don't really get what I'm seeing here. But that is there if you want to go. So yeah, that was the Okefenokee Swamp, and now we're heading over. Very excited to be heading over to the West Coast. We're now officially, I suppose, when I'm doing this vlog, we're in the third week of traveling, and I'm still feeling pretty good. I'm tired, to be honest with you. After 2 weeks of being on the road, I do feel tired, like just tired. it's hard to explain. There is just a tiredness. But I think a lot of that has to do with simply being on the road. Being on the road tires you down. This is just something for you guys to realize. If you do decide to get an RV or camp or do whatever and go on the road, realize it tires you out just like anything else in life. Just because you're not working doesn't mean you're not very active and not get tired. So I'm getting a little tired. Some of it has to do with being on the road, and a lot of it has to do with the weather. We were really hoping heading south we'd be getting better weather by this time of year, but we've been having some weird weather in the US this year, and so there's just been so much cold and rain, and it's really hard to explain unless you're out here doing this. But when you have a little travel trailer and you walk outside and it's nice and sunny and dry and you can sit in your nice little chair and drink some coffee and read your Kindle, that is a much more relaxing, restful environment than when you come out your travel trailer and as soon as you walk out the door, it's cold and rainy. And not only is it cold and rainy as soon as you walk out the door, but the travel trailer is so small, as soon as you open the door, all the warm air in the travel trailer rushes out. And so even the travel trailer gets cold. You're like, oh, golly. So, yeah, overall, it's good. So I think with that, it's about 9:30 or so here. We have to be out of here at noon. One thing I do like with these RV parks is that checkout time seems to be pretty late. Most of these RV parks have a checkout time of noon, which is really nice, especially when you're traveling. You don't realize how much crap there is to get together in the morning. When you see checkout times of 10 or 11, it doesn't really hit you like how much effort goes into packing everything up and getting on the road in the morning. So it's really nice to have a checkout time of noon, because I can tell you doing this now, having done this a few times, even having a checkout time at noon, we usually leave at about 11:55. You would think with a checkout time at noon, oh man, we're gonna be on the road at 10, we're gonna be halfway to wherever we're going by the time checkout time, no problem. In reality, what happens is you wake up in the morning and go, oh, noon, yeah man, I've got 4 hours. I've got more than enough time to get everything ready. And then at about 11:30, you're shoving stuff in, going, God damn, come on! We gotta miss checkout! But yeah, I think they have late checkout times in RV parks simply because they don't really have to do anything to the space. It really is cool with RV parks because checkout time is noon and check-in time is noon, which makes life a lot easier. And that's one of the things, like if you decided to do a big travel adventure thing, something that you don't think about whenever you're going to do these adventures is things like checkout time and check-in time, and the check-in and check-out time can be a real pain in the ass. So normally when we stay at hotels, checkout times is 11, check-in time is 3 or 4. So that's like a 4 or 5 hour gap in the middle. You know, if you're not going very far, that means you could get to a city with all of your crap and not be able to check into your hotel, which is a pain in the butt. What I like about the RV is check-in and check-out time is almost always noon so far. So you check out at noon, you check in at noon. So if we leave here, we go 45 minutes down the road and we're to the next place by 1 o'clock, we can just roll into our spot, hook everything up, and away we go. Makes life a lot easier. And it's one of those little things you don't think about. Check-in time, 3 or 4 o'clock, no big deal. Yeah, it's no big deal until you're exhausted and it's cold and it's rainy and it's nasty and all you really want to do is just sit down, right? Yeah. Anyways, with that, I think I will call it a day. So see you guys at the Ho Hum RV Park. Go in there shortly, and if you get the chance to go to Okefenokee, Okefenokee gets a double thumb up. Okefenokee gets a double thumb up. If you get the ability to go there, definitely go there. Apparently, don't worry about the alligators, because if they do attack you, every single one in a radius will be shot. So you are far more dangerous to the alligators than the alligators are to you, no matter how you want to cut it. Even if they eat you, even if they kill you, still like 24 of them are gonna die. So you're still more dangerous to them than they are to you. Man.
Or bars.
Dad, can you take my phone and get a picture?
If y'all look at her, you'll see how skinny she is. She's really emaciated, and she's probably gonna die. You see the side of her head? See, her head is much bigger than her body. So she hasn't been eating, have you, girl?
No, I'm not.
even laboring. Right now she's laboring, breathing. You poor. I'll watch her because when she dies, I want to get her skull and her hide. You guys are